everybody, this is a Lamley showcase, and check this out. The set's empty. There's nothing for you to focus on because we're going to do the final Lamley Awards video, at least poll showcase of 2018. You voted on a lot of topics for the Lamley Awards. We have one more for you, and that is the 164 Model of the Year. Not only models, but brands are going head-to-head, and you are going to pick the model that you think, of the nominations I've made, that you think is the Model of the Year. And so that's why this is blank, because I'm going to unveil them one by one. Check this out. We'll go through it as quickly as we can, and then go to the link down below and vote on the model. This one's going to be tough. You might be a big Hot Wheels fan. I have a few Hot Wheels nominees. There's some other brands. And this is, as I've explained, in the Lamley universe. There's some great brands from Japan, from Europe, from the United States, and elsewhere that I don't cover here on Lamley Group. So they're not part of this nomination. But you will see that there's a good representation of several 164 brands. You look through them. This is the nominees that I have selected based on models that got a lot of attention, things that have been talked about. All right, we're a minute in. Let's just get right to it. I'm going to roll them out dramatically, and we start with this. It's way too close. Let's put it right there. This is the Audi RS6 Avant Super Treasure Hunt from Hot Wheels. I could have done the new model because it was such a popular model and a favorite of collectors. But the fact that this debuted as a Super Treasure Hunt in beautiful Spectre Flame Red is the reason that it gets nominated. Very popular new model, very popular Super Treasure Hunt, kind of a double whammy. Number 2. Can you see what this is? This is an EK Honda Civic from Tomica Limited Vintage, the first of 2 nominees from TLV this year. I tried to pick the 2 models that got collectors, not only TLV collectors, but collectors in general excited. This EK Civic got people in a frenzy. Not only because it's the Civic and there's a lot of people that are huge fans, but also because it is the Type R. A lot of times you'll see just the standard, like, basic version from TLV. They love their stock cars, but they took on the Type R, which made it very, very popular. So that is one of the nominees. Next, how about this one? This is the Matchbox nominee. It is the Datsun 510 from the Matchbox Gathering of Friends. I didn't hold back, even if they were super rare, because this one is in very limited numbers because it came from a convention. But there wasn't a new model. There was a lot of popular new models, but there wasn't any that stood out against the others. There was a lot of really, really good ones. But I thought that this was a model that people really wanted. It was done in this cool nostalgic gold. You can see that Matchbox series is very much an homage to the regular wheels, and that's why the wheels on the Datsun are gray, because the regular wheels, when Matchbox first started 65 years ago, they were gray as well. So a cool homage model, tribute model to celebrate 65 years of Matchbox. Very, very cool model. That's the Matchbox nominee. All right, this one I'm going to have to push out. It doesn't roll very well, but holy cow, is it something. This is the Ignition model Pandem Nissan GTR. These diecast models by Ignition. This is the first time they've made a foray into 164, and they sure killed it with these highly detailed GTRs. They also did a Toyota 86. I picked this one. I really like the gunmetal gray with the gold rims and figured that that was a great model to include. I was going to put one of these Ignition models in just because of how beautifully done they are. All right, speaking of very, very cool Japanese car, how about the Toyota FJ40 Land Cruiser? This one is by Johnny Lightning. I thought this was a casting that got a lot of people excited. I don't do a lot of Johnny Lightning features, but I do some. And of all of them, I picked this one in the Toyota Racing colors. It's a Bishop exclusive. Bishop, I believe, is a hobby dealer. I got this one at a Hot Wheels convention in Dallas from J-Car, and I have loved it ever since. I think this casting is great. I wanted to pick the one I liked the best, and I decided to pick this one from Bishop, this beautiful Toyota Land Cruiser. So that is one of those nominees. Okay, another very, very cool brand. One of the newer ones. We saw Ignition jump into 164. This is also, what, year 2 of Tarmac Works. What a really, really cool brand. I had to pick one that I knew Tarmac Works had to be in this contest, and I thought this particular Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3, right, was a fantastic model. And how cool is the Hello Kitty deco on this one? I thought because of the Hello Kitty, because of the realism of the model, and this is actually based on a real racing livery, I said this one is the one I want to put in as the nominee for Model of the Year from Tarmac Works. So vote on that one if you think it is the best of 2018. All right, back to Hot Wheels. The blue brand has, like I said, a few nominees, and that's logical for Lamley Group. You might say, oh, since I cover so much Hot Wheels, and you guys obviously like it, I have 3 or 4 nominees. I think this is, well, we'll get to the others. This is the Nissan C10 Skyline van from Car Culture Cargo Carriers, debuted there. It is a Skyline wagon, which is a rare car in and of itself. It's also an incredibly unique decision to be made by Hot Wheels, but something they can do now and it won't surprise anyone. And the last thing is how beautifully detailed. I kind of said, I compared this to the Datsun 510 wagon, a casting that I love, but it was night and day how far beyond the 510 wagon this Skyline wagon goes in terms of detail, precise lines, precise details. And I'm okay saying that because these were designed by the same person, Jun Amai, the 510 wagon and the C10 van. So that's one that I just think is fantastic. All right. A brand I don't cover a ton, but this was such a deserving model. It's Bigfoot from Greenlight. I talked to a few people about my nominees, and everybody mentioned you got to include Bigfoot, and I agree. This model is so cool. I considered the BRE Datsun 510, but considering we've done a lot of BRE models, I considered that from Greenlight because it's equally really well done. But I love this one not only for the execution of the model, but also because, I mean, it's Bigfoot. It is the legendary monster truck. It's not as obnoxious as they've become. This is the classic just Ford truck lifted, and it's what at least I remember as being the legendary car when I was a kid. Bigfoot is just too cool, and Greenlight's version is the best replica I've seen of it. I'm sure there were others when we were kids, but I just think it is so awesome. All right, the second entry from Tomica Limited Vintage is the Mazda RX-7. I could have picked any color. There were 5 released this year of this new casting from Tomica Limited Vintage. I just picked this red one because it's red and it stands out, but there were white, gray, yellow, black, several that I could showcase. Another one that I think brings collectors into Tomica Limited Vintage. In some ways, I would love to nominate like a Nissan Cedric or a model like that because they do them so well. But I think in terms, it just wouldn't win because there's, at least from among the Lamley readers, there isn't a ton of big fans of cars like that. But this RX-7 is kind of the bridge between the quality and precise treatment of Tomica Limited Vintage and just 164 collectors all over the world. So this was that nomination, the second nomination from Tomica Limited Vintage, the Mazda RX-7. All right, going back to the blue brand, here's Hot Wheels again. A model that so many people are after and having a hard time finding is the Nissan Silvia S15 from Hot Wheels. They did a Silvia several years ago. It was a terrible casting, sadly. But all of that is water under the bridge now because this thing is so beautiful. Designed by the Hot Wheels design team with a little help or a lot of help from Jimmy Lou from marketing, who is a huge fan of this car. There's a car seat in the back, and that's because Jimmy had recently had a kid when he designed this, and so that is a little shout out to his son in the back seat of this Nissan Silvia. So you look for it if you have it. Here's a car seat there. Anyway, that's not why it's here. It's here because it's an incredibly cool casting from Hot Wheels Entertainment, Replica Entertainment from Forza, and this one we're going to see in Fast and Furious soon. Just a fantastic model and a huge hit from Hot Wheels. Auto World, the Tomica Limited Vintage of the United States. That's the way I put it. Like TLV, very specific to scale, and that means this car is enormous. It's the Buick Estate Wagon. It was I think one of 2 new castings, maybe 3, introduced in 2018. And I love when Auto World takes on these land yachts like the wagon. And this is the 3rd wagon they've done. 2019 is going to be all about the Silverado from Auto World, but right now this Buick Estate Wagon I thought was really, really well done and one that was most welcome, and so it is the nominee from Auto World. All right, 3 more to go. We've done Auto World, we've done Johnny Lightning, we've done Greenlight. There's another brand that I love to cover, and here is their nominee. This is the Dodge Daytona from M2 Machines. I love Auto Japan, and I considered several Auto Japan models to be the nominee from M2. But ultimately, I wanted to talk to some M2 collectors because I'm so focused on the Auto Japan. I wanted to see what other collectors wanted. And this model, the Dodge Daytona Super Chase from the Coca-Cola series, was brought up over and over and over again. So I asked M2 about it, and they actually sent me this one for this video. So thanks to them for that. Obviously, I had to open it up, which I did. And you can see that, but there it is, opening hood. I kept it open so you can see the engine. This is the Chase model. The Daytona just as is would be cool, but I really like this Chase model, and of course so did the M2 collectors. They were all over it. This is the one that they have wanted to get. Coke and M2 has been a big story in 2018. It's going to be, I think we have just the JDM models that just came out. So, and I think we're going to see a whole lot more Coke and M2. It's been a really cool collaboration. I like it a lot because I like how they're doing the decos. All right, how about Majorette? Can you guess which model's coming from Majorette? I don't know if I was going to put Majorette in, but Majorette was a big story this year in that they came to the United States again through Toys R Us. And I think things were going okay, not great for Majorette at Toys R Us until Toys R Us just went kerplunk. Such a sad story in 2018 to lose Toys R Us. Seeing Majorette reminds me of all that. It's a real bummer. Majorette is coming back to the U.S. in a different way soon. We'll get to all that when it gets closer. But right now, I think that the one model that everybody wanted, whether it was here in the United States or overseas, and it's still highly popular, is the VW Polo. Red Bull Deco, really, really cool. And Majorette wanted to make it somewhat of a chase vehicle, so they only put one per case or one per batch for the Toys R Us release. So it made it not only, it was already popular as is, but then super rare because there was just so few of them. And I think that might have frustrated a few people, but also made this, if you did get it, did find it, was quite the deal to find. So the VW Polo is the nominee from Majorette. Okay, one last one. We're going to go Hot Wheels again. And I have said that 2018, even with the 50th anniversary, it was all about one particular model, and I had to pick which one it was going to be. So you know what I did? I just spent a whole lot of money, a lot more than I like to spend on diecast, to get one model so I could continue to have the whole collection of the 55 Gasser. And you know what that model was? It's this one. That is the Candy Cane Wonderland Gasser, and yeah, I took it out of its acrylic case because I just had to, at least for these kind of features. It's fun to watch it roll with the candy cane wheels. But ultimately, I had to open it so I could showcase it for you, which I'm going to do tomorrow. It is not the nominee. I can't nominate a car that's only $400 and given out to Mattel employees at a dance. I'm happy to have it. It's going to be part of my holiday showcase tomorrow, but it's not going to be the nominee. I just can't do it. It is the Dallas Convention finale, 55 Bel Air Gasser, one of 8. Count it. 8 releases of the 55 Gasser in 2018. I had to pick one. I could have picked more, but I went with this Dallas release in gold, celebrating the 50th anniversary. I've talked about in the last video, there was a matching model in black with gold, with a gold roof. The best representation of the 50th anniversary for Hot Wheels. Very, very cool model. Beautifully done. Given to collectors at a convention. Hard to get, of course, but I think it is the model, the final Hot Wheels nominee, and it also kind of represents the 50th anniversary of Hot Wheels. There you go. How many nominees? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 nominees for Model of the Year. Go down below and vote for the one that you think deserves to be called Model of the Year. Whatever the brand from these 14, whatever the model, let's pick one. I will announce it next week. along with all of the other Lamley Award winners that you have been voting on over the last month or so. It's going to be kind of a fun deal to do. We'll get all dressed up, all gussied up in our tuxedos, and we'll just announce and look at some very, very cool cars over the next few days. Thanks everybody for watching. If you feel like there's a car that I didn't nominate that you think deserves, leave the comment down below, but make sure that you vote in the poll. Thanks everybody. Bye.